Just as a little quick update, I think I put some annotations on my other video, but here's the old power supply. Obviously it's because it's open. And the new power supply is in the PS3, and when we hit this switch, bingo, it works. Which makes me very happy. Even better though. Okay, here's the arcade stick, and now I will tell you the story about it. First I will show you the mod I did to it, and which also is what killed it. Basically, I added this Neo Geo port on it, so now I can plug it into any Neo Geo system that has a port, obviously, using an extension cord would be the best way. Just plug that on there, and then I can plug this into, you know, the CD or my MVS that I added controller ports to. And it will work. And basically, if anybody does not know, I will educate you once further. The Neo Geo controller port is all hardwired. There's 15 pins here. I don't think it uses all of them. There's a couple maybe. There's one that's not used, and there's one that's duplicate. I think that's it. Each pin is literally assigned to a button. Modern controllers only have, you know, 3-4 pins. They're, you know, like on a GameCube, it only has a few pins. Yeah. So, what do I want to say? Yeah, 1 pin per button. So up, down, left, right, and then the 4 Neo Geo buttons is 8 buttons. Start select is 9, 10. There's a 5 volt, there's a ground, you know, fun stuff like that. So, it makes it very easy to make your own Neo Geo controller. So these buttons, each button is just kind of soldered to this main board in here. And you can see these are the button solder joints. And so what I have done, this one's just stealing ground from that button. On these 4 buttons up here, I have just taken the positive lead from it. The other side is the ground on all of these. And wired that up to its appropriate spot on the Neo Geo jack that I added. And then the same thing with the switches over here. Now, I had the problem, this is how I killed it. These switches, these are just regular micro switches in there, like you would have on an arcade stick, any other arcade stick, any good arcade stick. They have a little diagram on them that shows a common point coming up. I think it might be on this side. And then it splits into 2, and that's where you get the always open and always closed points. Basically the switch, how can I show you? If here's our common point. No, that's not going to work. Let's say that this wire right here is the always open, and this is the always closed. Inside the switch is, you know, a little piece of metal that is connected to the common point. And when it's always open, the one that's always open, it'll, let's say when you're not pressing the buttons like this, so the always closed is actually actuated. That's a weird thing to say. And then as soon as you hit the button, it opens that one up and closes this one down. So now this one's connected. So basically what I was connecting was this side of the micro switch, the always open side. So that when you press it, you know, it's like activate the switch, activate the switch, activate the switch. And there's no real reason for me to need this side or whatever. But my problem was it only mattered, it doesn't matter which direction the common to the other one in the actual operation of the switch. But it does when you're trying to trace, or when they, basically what they did is they didn't pay attention to those. So I was using the common point knowing that that was a ground, right, or not a ground. Basically I followed the diagram and I went to the wrong thing on one of these because they made it backwards. And it blew up this little chip right here, this little black thing, this little dot, and that is a little like 3.3 volt voltage regulator thing. I had to ask the guys on assemblergames.com, and luckily someone found my thread that knew exactly what that was. It's a little 5-pin IC. It's really small, and I would have never guessed what it is. I even Googled the number on it, and it came up with absolutely nothing. But yeah, thanks to the guys out there for helping me figure out what the hell it was. It was just a matter of ordering it. I got my stuff from DigiKey, which is kind of the place to get electronics. They were like $2 each, which is a lot of money for this little tiny piece of crap. And I actually ordered 2 of them, 2 different ones, just in case one didn't work or I got the wrong one or something. I got 2 different brands, I believe. But regardless, with that little voltage regulator being blown, the PlayStation 3 side of this just stopped working altogether. But if we plug this in to this USB port, I don't know if you heard that, but it boots right up, and we can go into control panel, game controllers. Let me put this bottom back on here for a second. Flip this over and we notice it says Fighting Stick 3 in there, properties, and now we can hit buttons on here and they work. And even then, you know, the whole thing still works now. I got turbo, and this has a really neat turbo on it. Right now let's say I just turned L1 on turbo, so see, that's flashing and that's flashing. I'll put it on slow so it's a little easier. But if you do a turbo function again on there, it makes that button always on. Now, none of this will work with my Neo Geo side because that's all hardwired in there. I guess it might have been possible if there's one chip that all the buttons are connected to. It's a Hori chip. Let's see if I can find it. And I don't know what it controls. That thing right there. I don't know if that is the processor and that, you know, converts everything and hooks up to the USB and, you know, all that jazz. I don't know if maybe if I had a pinout on that, maybe that just does turbo. Maybe there's a chip that just does turbo and then sends that signal to another IC that you know, actually starts working on making it a USB device. Who knows? I don't. But unless I can figure that out, which I don't really care too much, I won't have turbo for the Neo Geo side. So, you know, it's all hardwired. I completely did not use the actual PlayStation circuit. I just went to the switches because that's, you know, super easy. Didn't take me very long. Anyway, as I was saying, this other turbo function on here, see, that's going right now. So right now L1, which I guess is 5 on here, is flashing, and I'm not hitting any buttons. So if you're playing let's say you're playing a shooter that you're gonna hold the button down anyway, might as well rest your finger, even though I guess that's not too much trouble just to do that. And that's still, I wonder if that's still, no, when you do that, it actually stops the button. So if you ever need to stop, like on a lot of cave shooters by the company Cave, when you're firing your auto fire, you actually slow down. Your ship slows down. So if you have an auto fire function going on, you know, you could whenever you want to speed up, you could just do that. I don't know. It's a neat feature. I guess I can't really explain how to use it because now that I think of it, there's not too many shooters where you would necessarily need to shoot all the time, but you might as well on some of them. So yeah, that's it. PlayStation 3 over here works, and my PlayStation 3 fighting stick now works. So shut that off. I wonder if I can turbo left. I can turbo left. Can I? Ooh, I can constantly turbo direction too. That's neat. Not that I need to anyway. But yeah, there you go. I don't know where I'm going with this. I always at the end of videos just kind of trail off into nothing. And then realize I've been going for 9 minutes and 50 seconds about absolutely nothing. But maybe you learned something. maybe I learned something. I really learned something. I need to fucking watch these things. I almost had to buy another one just because of that stupid chip going out. I did not want to do that. But yeah, thanks to Treasure Fan again for the stick. Now I can finally use it to its full capacity, and even though it's really embarrassing that I blew it up there for a little bit. And again, thanks to DigiKey for getting me parts, and Assembler Forums, assemblergames.com forums, for the very, very smart guys on there helping me figure out what the fuck that thing was. Without you guys, I wouldn't even be here today. Anyway, take it easy. I'm gonna have some fun right after I eat some dinner.